All right, welcome back. Keep my eye on the market here. The Dow is just down 30 and not doing anything amazing. Oh, just popped up 50, little movement, 26.8, not above that 27,000 resistance level that's developing there. And Bitcoin doing kind of good, 93.50, down 20 bucks, but Joe Hagan will be joining us a little later in hour one, talking about the big data economy and cryptocurrency and how you should think about putting a little bit of that in your portfolio. Lots going on. I'm putting a little bit of this in my portfolio for this Woman Wednesday. Jess's mom, Mesa, made this beautiful mint lemonade. Right, Jess? This is a fresh mint lemonade that she made. And it's delicious and nutritious. It has ground up mint in it. And I'm coupling that, doing a pairing today with the organic Panzoni vodka. So we'll see how good this is in a little bit. But it's going to get way better for you right now because I'm joined by my good friend Erin Elmore. Well, I'll be joined by my good friend Erin Elmore any minute now. But try a mint lemonade and Panzoni. So good. It's like the breakfast of champions. Zen Sams is going to join us right after this. It's a power duo, back-to-back. Gail Casper, motivational speaker and author, is going to join us a little later, an hour or two. And then when you get the guys on Women Wednesday, the money guys, you got to fit them in somewhere, and Hagan's going to be the closer. Joey Hagan will be here to talk to us about the big data economy and all his calls on the market. I do want to point out to you that I'm keeping my eye every single day. I'm a shareholder in Overstock.com. I've been talking to you now for weeks. Almost a new high, 55 bucks, still on a tear here. We're on a tear when Erin Elmore joins us. We don't know where in the world she is, but she's safe. Thank you for joining us. She's the head of USA Strong. She's attorney, political analyst, conservative commentator. Hello, Erin.
How are you?
You still in Florida, I assume?
I am still in Florida, sunny Florida.
That's it. I have a feeling you may never come back.
Well, I have to go to DC next week because I am speaking at a conference, but if I had my way, I would stay here.
Yeah, it looks that way. And if you don't follow Erin on Instagram, you should. Her adventures are quite fun. If you can't be there, you can vicariously travel the East Coast with her. Erin, I know USA Strong is not a political organization. It's a nonprofit committed to, bringing jobs and manufacturing and other things back to America and taking strength away from China. There's this whole thing developing with these Confucius institutes, and they're getting money, and they're kind of contributing to the corrosion of the education system.
That's absolutely right. And you know what? Dennis Prager, who's a wonderful and educated man, he said, when you send your children to college, it's like playing Russian roulette with your values. And I hate to tell you, this goes down all the way to kindergarten. Well, let's start with the Confucius Institutes that you mentioned first. Yes, these are institutes that basically give massive amounts of money in the hundreds of $1,000s a year to colleges all across the country. And what they're doing is they're buying influence and spying. So they'll come to any college. By the way, they're in 44 states and over 110 colleges. They send professors over. They're in charge of curriculums. And you think they're just going to come over and adapt to the American culture, where they really just want to destroy our culture and spy on our government. So they're really dangerous. The only silver lining about this is senators like Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee are hip to the game. And she's starting to have some schools in her state stop allowing them. I know Middle Tennessee University is one of them. So this is something really for parents that are sending their children to college to be aware of. And it's a major problem because not only is it spying, as we know, when we send our kids to college now, they're already being fed such liberal propaganda. So we got the spying, but now also it's sending them favorable information on China, which, as we know, is a communist dictatorship full of racism and hatred and an absolute despising of the United States.
So these Confucius institutes, they give them a lot of access, all these universities that take this blood money. You say they're in 44 states and 110 colleges. Over at USA Strong, do you guys have a list where people can look and see what colleges are in this? Is there some database that people can inform themselves?
What I can do is I can put that up on some of my various social media and let you know exactly what states and which colleges, but it's definitely a problem. And taking it a step further, as I mentioned, down to kindergarten, the College Board, which puts on the SATs, they're also in bed with China. So what they're doing is they're having these programs with China, bringing Chinese professors over for children as young as 5, letting them bring their communist textbooks and bringing that into classrooms for children. On that SAT college level, they are also have Chinese centers here in the United States and abroad where these tests are being administered, but the college boards are just sort of sliding them old tests. And in some cases, there are accusations that they've been given answer keys to the SATs. So these problems are very pervasive. And sadly, we're seeing that this money is talking, but to what end? As you called it, blood money.
Yeah, I mean, they've done so many things over the years. I mean, ripping off our intellectual property, ripping off our pharmaceuticals, selling us bum products, selling us poisoned gypsum, sheetrock. I mean, they've done everything they can. The last time you were on, we were talking about TikTok. That's another way they're getting inside our kids' phones. And then once that phone gets in the house, they actually can get into your house and your email if they really want to get some info. But it seems like these Confucius Institutes are getting them a whole dossier on these kids, as early as high school when they start preparing for the SAT.
Right, down to kindergarten, because they're allowing these people to come over and serve as kindergarten, first grade, fifth grade, and so on, teachers. And they bring these textbooks that are sanctioned and authored by the Chinese Communist Party. Children, and the parents probably initially think, wow, exposing my child to another culture and another language. But when you peel back the layers of the onion, it's very terrifying.
Yeah, I'd rather my kids were exposed to some regular, good old-fashioned American history, which is barely taught in the schools anymore, before they start, teaching them Mandarin in kindergarten. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And we've seen China has this scholars program that was being overseen by this professor from Harvard who got arrested a couple of months ago. And the scholars program, they bring over these other supposed scholars and adjunct professors from China, and it turns out one after the next is really a Chinese, intelligence agent, and they're infiltrating our country every way, right down to the Huawei 5G that's getting put in all our rural areas in this country.
I know. I believe the Great Britain just banned them as part of their 5G and their products because it is so dangerous. And you know what we spoke about last time, not to take a hard left on you here, we talk about what else the Chinese government is doing wrong. Our apple juice is made over in China. They can pollute that in all of our pharmaceuticals. So we really need to get the manufacturing brought to the United States of all of these products and services.
Well, today I'm drinking lemonade, so I'm not in fear of the apple juice being poisoned right today.
Coffee.
Jess, one of our producers' mom made some fresh mint lemonade, and it's delicious. Ooh. But yeah, exactly. I mean, we haven't had a liquid lunch together, and it seems like a lifetime at this point.
Let's shoot for September. I don't care what de Blasio says. We're going in that New York studio. You and I will make good-looking mugshots. You know what else I was going to ask you about?
Tell me.
How about our friend who should shut up and dribble, LeBron James? All of his sneakers that are made over in China by basically slaves. He's a slave to the Chinese Communist Party, and he's worried about what's happening in America among African Americans. What about all of these people who are currently enslaved in China right now?
Yeah, it's strange, right? That they have, kind of looked the other way on. They're fighting here about the injustice of slavery that still extends till today. But at the same time, their multi-million, $100 million contract with Nike calls for people to work 20 hours a day for 10 cents a week or something. They're basically slaves to the communist regime.
These people are the Uyghurs, and they're Muslim minorities, and they actually are in internment concentration camps. I mean, I don't even think they're getting a wage at all. These people are literally enslaved, and that's something you don't often hear about in the mainstream media. These are modern-day concentration camps. It's plain and simple.
Yeah, on the Uyghur front, I saw some video last night that was disturbing, that they were, had them all corralled up with like jackets on, and they were shoving them on trains. It looked like some videos from the Holocaust times.
I know, and then when you got, I believe someone over in Great Britain was interviewing a member of the Chinese government, and they said, I don't know what you're talking about or where you got this video.
Yeah, I saw the guy on the BBC, the Chinese ambassador or whatever, saying, I don't know where that video came from. Well, it came
Yeah.
from a drone above 1,000 Uyghurs that were probably going to get incinerated.
And the threat of China is so real and so pervasive that the Democrats really need to get on board. This is a nonpartisan and bipartisan concern
No.
because of what happened with the coronavirus. The Pew Institute had research that came out that said 91% of Americans have an unfavorable attitude towards China right now. That doesn't come from nowhere.
All right. Well, we need you to keep ringing this bell, and we're here for you anytime. And you're on. You're on for September. All right. Bing.
Yes.
That's Erin Elmore, head of USA Strong. Check them out on Instagram, Facebook, and find out if your kid's college is getting money from China. We'll take a quick break. Come back with Zen Sam's right after this.